And today we're going to review the 2015 BMW 120D. And this car is, in my opinion, one of the last real BMWs, because now they're going to front wheel drive or four wheel drive and the engines are getting smaller. This is a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel with a twin-scroll turbocharger, but the main reason why I say it's one of the last real BMWs is because it's still rear wheel drive. Okay, you see most of the new premium hatchbacks or four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, because in a rear-wheel drive car the drivetrain comes to the back, so you've got less boot space and less space in the back. But let's be honest, rear-wheel drive cars are just so much more fun to drive. The problem with the four-wheel drive and the front-wheel drive is you just lose a bit of character. I mean, yes, it's faster, maybe more practical to have a four-wheel drive car, but it's not as fun. You can't get the back end out, you don't have that feeling of being pushed out of corners. Rear-wheel drive is the way to go, in my opinion. Okay, so the boot in this car is 380 liters, which is still big in my opinion, but it's smaller than its competitors. So you've got a decent sized boot, but it's smaller than its competitors, and the seats do fold flat. It is something that you can do, and it's not a difficult procedure. You just down there. That one didn't fall down properly. See, just close these down. They fold relatively flat, so you've got a decent flat boot. It's actually quite big if you fold them flat. And a nice thing is you can fold these rear edges down, so you can actually see if there's nobody in the back, because in a lot of hatchbacks, because of these stupid things, you can never see anything. Okay, moving to the rear. So if you look at my knees, I've got decent leg space, but I'm only 5'7". So if you've got a 6-foot person in the front, a 6-foot person might sit a bit uncomfortable in the back as well. Headroom, I'm not gonna lie, even for me is a bit tight, and I'm really short. So a taller person is gonna struggle. You've got aircon at the back, a little bit of storage space, really small door bins and the sides. The seats are a bit upright for my liking at the back, but I mean, technically it's all you need, because the people in the back don't really matter. That's why they sit in the back. You've got electric windows that go all the way down, and a shed door design. I think this is a BMW thing. It's the same problem you've got on the 3 Series. This thing causes you, if you get in a tight parking spot, you can't get out of the car, unfortunately. Now to the front. So the car is very driver focused. Everything in the interior is aimed at you as the driver. It feels nice, especially the steering wheel. I really like the steering wheel. On the outside, it's got a bit of cheap plastic on it, I'm not gonna lie, but overall it's really nice in here. The plastic on the dash is so. This is at least a bit soft. It's not hard plastic, but this is hard. This is very cheap. The handbrake is quite shit, if I'm honest. I don't like it. And the glove box really feels like something out of a shit car, let's be honest. So when you're in the interior, like I said, it's really nice. I like the way everything is laid out. The pedals feel freaking amazing. They're aluminium, they're not cheap shit. The gear selector is really nice. It feels well built and well made. The seats are really nice and adjustable, which I like, the fact that you can change the seats to fit you properly. You can even set the bucket seats, how stiff they hold you onto you, which is really nice. So now we're going to move to my favorite part, driving and performance. Yes. So like I said, this is a 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel. So the diesel claims 4.1 liters per 100 kilometers, which is crazy light on fuel. Okay, the consumption I get on the car isn't that low. In my personal experience, you get more around 7 or 8 on the car. I think that's a bit unrealistic, getting 4. Maybe open road, driving in perfect conditions, you get that, but on a day-to-day basis, no way. So the whole purpose of a car is driving it. So how does this one feel? Well, I'm not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it inspires confidence to drive fast. Your sense of speed almost gets warped in a BMW. Because I mean, driving fast in a normal car and driving fast in a BMW is not the same. you just feel like you've got more trust in the vehicle. So driving fast isn't hard work. You just go. The things you chuck it into the corner and it will pull through. You put your foot down and it will go. You never have problems. So it's really quite not. It's really nice. Now the diesel isn't the fastest. I'm just gonna close it because that's making road noise and I don't like it. So it isn't necessarily the fastest on speed, but it's got a shit ton of torque. So off the line, this thing goes. If you do a proper launch, this thing will put you back in your seat. It's not a hard hatch or anything, but like I said, it's really not slow. One of the biggest plus points of this diesel is the amount of power you get for the amount of fuel you use is actually quite a lot. I mean, even 7, like I'm getting 7 liters per 100 kilometers is very light on fuel, and it's not slow. I mean, I've got a 335 BM. If I drive the 335 the same way I would drive this car, it would use 3 times more petrol. This is really light on fuel, and it still has a decent amount of performance to it. I really like that about the car. Says this car's gearbox is freaking amazing. The paddle shifts are so responsive. You just, and it's next gear. It's so fast. The gear shifts are smooth and unbelievably quick. I really like it. The one thing I must say that's really quite shit about this car is it's got like a lag. Okay, so I'm gonna try and explain the throttle lag thing I've got. So I'm gonna put my foot down and then you're gonna see how long it takes for it to kick down. So down, there it goes. That's a lot of time. So if you ever want to overtake somebody and you put your flicker on to go, it's almost as if you're going out looking like an idiot, waiting, and then, okay, there it goes. You know what I mean? It's stupid. It should be, if you put your foot down, it goes. This, even if you're in the right gear, like, let me put it in a gear. I'm gonna put it in third gear. So third gear should have power. If I put my foot down, there's a bit of space before it actually, okay, you want to go somewhere, and then goes. I don't like that at all. It's crap. It feels like turbo lag, to be honest. It feels like a crap ton of turbo lag. And in a car with a lot of power, I can understand it, but this doesn't have that much power. So, yeah, it's not acceptable. The road noise isn't the best, to be honest. It's got you can hear the tires on the road and that, but it's not horrible. You can live with it. It's really not that bad. The infotainment system in this car is a little complicated, I'm not gonna lie. To use in a car, I think it's too much. Because, I mean, you want to just quickly do stuff. You don't want to... You struggle, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a struggle to get this thing to work like you want it to work, unfortunately, because it's got so many shit and stuff and menus, and it's got keys like shortcuts, but still, it's not for me. I personally prefer something a bit simplisticer. Yes. Another thing I really hate about this car is the stop start. It's annoying. It's really annoying, because even if you just drive from like the stop street and you're waiting for somebody else to go and you want to go, it locks the steering wheel till you leave the brake. So every time you stop, it just switches off, and you can't put it off permanently. So every time you have to go put it off manually, and it's annoying. I know it's there for a reason, but I don't like it personally. This is about my opinion, and my opinion is it's shit. I hate it. Okay? So the sound system in the car isn't bad. It's not the best, but this is the standard. This isn't the upgraded Armand Cordon sound system. This is the standard sound system. But it's still not bad, if I'm totally honest. It doesn't have the most bass in the world, but you don't need it. It's decent. It's good enough for your average person. I really like the dials in this car. It's still old school analog, but it just looks classy. It looks stylish. It looks good. If I'm honest, it looks good. It's the best way I can explain it. So overall, this car, to me at least, is really a nice car because it looks great. The design, the interior design really looks phenomenal to me. I really like the interior of this car. It's a nice place to be. It feels like you are an expensive car. That's how it feels. If you're inside this car, it feels expensive. Not necessarily because of how the stuff feels, but how it looks, the way it's designed. even the steering wheel design, it feels expensive. It feels nice. It feels like you're important, if that makes sense. And then the outside design is really pretty as well to me. When I walked up to this car from behind, I just thought, yes, it's really a beautiful car. It's not ugly by any sense. It's really a pretty car. So to me, the biggest problems with this car is that stupid throttle lag. I really don't like it. If you put it in sports mode, the throttle is much better, but then it holds onto the gears more. And if you're just driving, you don't want to rev the shit out of the car. So it's quite difficult. And I know, first I thought if I put it in sports mode, the gearbox is going to react the same as normal, because the gearbox is in sports mode. Because you can put it into drive sport, which is supposedly more aggressive gearbox, and then the car into sport. But the one thing I've noticed, if you put it in sport, it still holds onto the gears a bit more. And you don't want that necessarily. But I do want the car to be a bit more responsive. So it's difficult. I think the reason it holds on to it is so it can be more responsive, because I do think it actually has a bit of turbo lag, which is also weird to me, because it's got a twin scroll turbo. It shouldn't have turbo lag. That's the whole point of the twin scroll, is it minimizes turbo lag. I'm ranting about one thing, but that one thing irritates the shit out of me. Things I really do like about the car is the design. I really like the way the car looks. I like the power it's got for the amount of fuel you use. I like the fact that it's rear-wheel drive. I mean, most new cars, that's something of the past. A hatchback with rear-wheel drive is not going to stay for long. I mean, all the fast hatchbacks are going to four-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. Okay, but if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hopefully this video helped a bit. I know most of the stuff is just me ranting about the throttle, or me saying I like the power, but that's the things I care about, okay? Yes, I'll see you in the next one. Watch, I'm gonna make the ass come out a little bit. Watch. Woo! Sorry. Okay, bye.